In 2016, there was a lot of outrage surrounding a pose that Tracer had where it highlighted her butt, and Blizzard reacted quickly. They removed it from the game, they apologized, and they vowed never to do that again. But now, flash forward to 2026, and the mob was furious over a brand new character not looking ethnic enough. And because the voice actor complained and got their audience to complain, now Blizzard has bent the knee and are going to redesign this new Overwatch hero. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community and my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, it is pretty wild when you see how many activists are actually in the video game industry. If they do not like something, they will attack the people that are hiring them. They'll bite the hand that feeds them. They will even attack their audience if their audience does not stand with them. And when you criticize these people, they say that you are just like an alt-right incel, you're a loser, you're a bigot, and all of this has now happened in this situation. So, the Overwatch developers have now agreed to redesign the character of Onryn after the character's English voice actor, Fariha Anderson, trashed the character design as Ozempic chic and called for better representation. Now, I think that anyone with half a brain that's been paying attention to the video game industry has recognized the fact that Overwatch has lost players to Marvel Rivals. Overwatch has not been doing as good as Marvel Rivals, and they're just trying to compete. But from the very beginning, Blizzard clearly wanted to put a little bit of sex appeal in this game. Is that some awful, terrible thing? No, but they have bent the knee to Outrage before over the female characters, and they're doing that yet again. Which, by the way, most human beings want to see other beautiful human beings. It's not that shocking. Most people want to see gorgeous looking women, hunky masculine men. This should not be some massive controversy. But when you give activists an inch, they will take a mile, and that's what's happening. So in a video post to X, Anderson said, "I got to mourn Onryn between the design I had hoped for her and the design we ended up with." So she wasn't promised a different design. She just hoped for a unique design. Because I think in her comic, in the cinematic Elemental Kin, there was a precedent set by it. So yeah, she's basically saying that the two didn't line up, that she looked too like young and feminine in the in-game design, and she didn't quite look the way that the cutscene design looks. There was an unspoken promise that we're going to challenge the beauty standards plaguing, ransacking media these days. The Ozempic chic, the contour your nose, you have no nose, the tiniest nose, which is insane. Again, she says that there was an unspoken promise, so she just assumed that she was going to get her way. She probably told them the type of design that she wanted, probably said, oh, the cinematic looks really great, and then she assumed that she was going to be getting what she wanted when the full game rolled around, and that wasn't the case. She said, I think because of that precedent, people feel understandably let down. She was the number one person who was upset, and then she made this entire video on it. It got a lot of attention on social media, and now we've gotten to the point where they are altering this character design. She absurdly said, and it's a look that isn't congruent with her personality. She looks like the younger sibling. She looks more docile, somehow a fire hero. She looks more docile than the most docile peacekeeping support in the game. From there, she revealed that she had already shared her concerns with the designers at developer Blizzard. So that means that because she knew previously she wasn't getting her way, she told them that she didn't like it. She was basically giving them a chance privately to do what she wanted, but because they didn't, she went public with it and attacked them tooth and nail and said, you need to do better and this isn't okay. And what's most funny about this video is she starts out with saying that she respects the developers and she doesn't want to kick the developers, but that's exactly what she did. And now, of course, yes, Blizzard has confirmed that they will be redesigning the new Overwatch hero Onryn after outcry from fans, which it wasn't really outcry from fans, it was outcry from her and then her audience. But she said, I love this game. Thank you, devs, for listening. Thank you, Overwatch community, for speaking up. And my repost was, thanks for listening to the community equals thanks for listening to me. These people are so entitled. It is insane. And what is worse is Blizzard is willing to bend the knee. Blizzard is going through a tough time right now. Call of Duty has failed. Overwatch 2 wasn't great, so they're trying to reboot it and they're going back to calling it Overwatch 1. They're trying to make more money, but this is going to push people away because this type of situation sucks. I should not have to worry about voice actors demanding change and then companies actually listening to them. I understand when you're like in the recording booth, a voice actor being like, oh, well, I see your voice line. Maybe this slight alteration would be a little bit better. Maybe like changing a word or adding a swear or removing a swear, something that doesn't completely alter the tone of it. But that isn't what we're talking about. This is a complete and total redesign. And now Blizzard is facing a ton of backlash, rightfully so. This voice actress is facing a ton of backlash, rightfully so. And it's just so funny to see this happen because they, for years, have cultivated this type of audience that goes rabid every single time they don't do what the community wants. And so now they are facing the backlash from these people who are pretty insane. And what's funny is that in the comment sections of every single one of these posts, Blizzard and this voice actress are getting destroyed. There are some people trying to play defense and run defense. It's not really working out though. No fan asked for this, just an insecure feminist. Keep going, F your game. Outcry from fans? You mean outcry from one miserable VA. They're going to piss off the people who bought skins because they liked the character. It's not fans asking for change, it's activists. Outcry from fans? Bruh. It was just one annoying person. Come on now. You have people saying, remember when VAs would play the character they auditioned for instead of trying to change them to fit the character they want them to be? Keep bending the knee to activists that only care about your game being used as a platform to spread their message. It will make Marvel Rivals look even better close to it. Keep on going. And what's funny is that they have tried to shift the tone of Overwatch because Marvel Rivals has done so good over the past couple of months, and they are definitely focusing on sex appeal. The women look like women, the men look like men, everyone's hunky and sexy and beautiful and epic looking, whereas you have Overwatch that went in the complete opposite direction. And so Blizzard now, with the failure of the latest Call of Duty, is like, oh shit, we need to make money and we need to make it quick. Let's reboot Overwatch again for a third time and let's try to shift the tone. And well, oh, they've definitely shifted it, that's for sure, just not in the direction they were hoping. A stupid first-time VA just made $1 billion company kneel by whining online that her character was too feminine. Blizzard are the most spineless, pathetic company on earth. If they had any integrity whatsoever, they would exile this rogue VA activist and hire a new one instead, and that is clearly not going to happen because this person is actually a Overwatch streamer. They have streamed Overwatch for a long time, and I think other like competitive multiplayer games and like hero shooters like Apex Legends, for example. But I think that they were hoping that by quickly responding to this that it would be better for them, but it was clear that internally they didn't want this to happen, that she voiced her demands, I suppose you could call them, and that she was told no, and so she took it public to try to embarrass them, to try to cost them money, and it backed them into a corner. Now, if it was my company, I would have held my ground and said, no, we've already told you that we were not going to change this character. If you would like us to replace your voice acting, we're happy to, but, well, it's Blizzard, and they have been spineless for years, and they haven't really listened to their customers for years. Jenna Sharp, who is a voice actress, said, I'm a voice actor, and I can't imagine ever being so entitled as to complain about my character's looks and demand the developers alter it to my specifications. Peak narcissism. She should have held off on posting permanently. And yes, a lot of English voice actors are complete and utter narcissists, and it's gotten hard to want to support them. At this point, there are still some amazing people out there. There are definitely some voice actors out there who are passionate, who just want to respect the developers' visions, but they are so few and far between. And then you have people like Fariha, Fariha here, who just completely damage the image that voice actors have at this point. So yeah, Blizzard has bent the knee. I'm not particularly shocked. Did we expect this to happen? A lot of people did, but now they're redesigning this new Overwatch hero. Blizzard and Fariha are facing a insane amount of backlash, and well, they're getting what they deserve. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.